Most people leave behind the wrong assets. It's not because they don't love their families, it's because they don't understand how inheritance actually works. In my estate planning practice, I see it every single day. Good intentions turning into family nightmares. I've seen families inherit a timeshare and get trapped in endless legal fees. I've seen them inherit a house that tears siblings apart, or a family business where nobody knows who's actually in charge. But I've also seen the alternative. I've seen families inherit the right assets the right way and keep 100% of their generational wealth completely tax-free. I'm Guy Di Martino, an estate planning attorney. Today, I'm going to show you the 5 best assets to leave your family and the 5 worst assets. By the end of this video, you will know exactly how to stop leaving your family expensive headaches and start leaving them a legacy that can actually keep and not cause strife between the family members. Let's jump right in. The best asset, the number 1 asset, is cash. Now, financial advisors might tell you cash is boring. It has no tax benefits. It doesn't grow, and you can't get a step up in basis. But in estate planning, boring is beautiful. Cash is simple. It's liquid and it's easy to divide. When a loved one passes away, the family needs money immediately. They have funeral costs, mortgage payments, legal fees, and property maintenance. Cash solves those problems instantly. No appraisals, no real estate market volatility, and no family fights over who gets what. Worst asset? By and far, timeshares. When your heirs inherit a timeshare, they aren't inheriting a vacation. They're inheriting a lifetime subscription to a bill. Timeshares are the exact opposite of cash. They are completely illiquid, trapped in brutal real estate market, and they come with mandatory annual maintenance fees that will most of the time increase every year. And occasionally you might get large assessments. If you don't plan correctly, your family inheritance a permanent financial obligation that they never asked for. Another one of our best assets is life insurance. And that is the second best asset to inherit. Why? Because it's fast, it's clean, and it bypasses the probate court entirely. When you pass away, your family doesn't need more legal complexity. They need a space to breathe. Life insurance pays out a tax-free lump sum directly to your beneficiaries, usually within weeks or months, and it gives them the immediate liquidity to stabilize their lives. Worse assets? Collectibles and specialty items. The second worst asset, and I'm talking about the stamp collection, classic cars, rare coins, fine jewelry, and some firearms. On paper, these look impressive. In real life, they can be an absolute mess. I recently handled an estate where the deceased left a collection of specialized firearms and a bunch of gold and silver coins. It took our firm months of legal paperwork just to transfer some of the firearms safely, and dealing with the actual coins and gold and silver was a nightmare. Life insurance gives your family money immediately. Collectibles give your family homework. If your heirs don't know the market, they could get taken advantage of while paying out of pocket just to store your hobby. Number 3 is where advanced tax planning can save your family hundreds of thousands of dollars. The third best asset to inherit is an appreciated brokerage account, meaning stocks, mutual funds, or ETFs left to your heirs at the time of your death. Why? Because of the beautiful tax loophole called up stepped up basis. This is something you need to understand. Let's say you bought Apple stock decades ago for $100,000. Today, it's worth $500,000. If you sell that stock while you're alive, you trigger a massive capital gain on that for the $400,000 differential. But if you hold that stock and it passes to your kids at death, their new tax basis steps up to the current market value at your death. So they get the stepped up basis of the value of $500,000. They can sell it the next day and pay $0 in capital gains. The worst asset, selling the stocks before you die. And why? Because selling those stocks right before you die to simplify things, and we see that parents do this all the time, they think that they're helping by liquidating their portfolio and handing their kids cash. But by doing that, they voluntarily write a massive check to the IRS for taxes that could have been completely avoided. That isn't simplification. It's the erosion of family wealth. Number 4 is real estate. It can be a great asset, but only if it comes with a plan. Just like stocks, real estate gets a stepped-up basis at your death, and so it can wipe out decades of built-in capital gains taxes. If you hold your property inside a living trust with clear instructions on who gets it, who can buy whom out, and when it should be sold, real estate is an incredible wealth-building legacy. On the other hand, vacation homes can be a bad asset. But real estate without a plan is ultimately a family destroyer. Consider the classic family vacation home or beach cabin left to 3 children equally with no roadmap. Child A wants to keep it and live there. Child B wants to sell it immediately because they need the money. Child C lives out of state and will never use it, but wants a say in how it's managed. Child D, they want to be able to use that property to go in the summer and spend a month or 2 there. So suddenly your loving gifts turns into an active legal battlefield that can destroy relationships between the siblings. Meanwhile, the property taxes, insurance, and maintenance bills keep rolling in. Leaving real estate to multiple heirs without a trust roadmap is like, well, it's very similar to throwing a grenade into Thanksgiving dinner. And the final best asset is a family business that has a clear succession plan. And you pair that with a worst asset, and that is a family business with no succession plan. You see, you have to set the rules of what the people are going to do and get in the business. Otherwise, there's going to be strife between the beneficiaries, and the business is either going to be sold for a loss, driven into the ground, or your beneficiaries and heirs will never talk again. So you'll want to have a clear succession plan. It will stop a lot of strife between your family. You want to say who's going to manage it, how things are going to work, or if it's going to go up for sale, you might want to actually name a broker that's going to sell it, or you might want to have a third party come in and be the CFO or comptroller or things like that. So those are things that you want to deal with, because many people will say, oh, my kids get along, they will never do that. And I can tell you, without a clear plan, there is going to be issues. So if we take a look at the big picture, these are the things that are some of the best assets: liquid cash, tax-free life insurance, appreciated stocks, real estate that's inside of a living trust, and then a business with a succession plan. And the worst assets? Timeshares, because of the ongoing bills and assessments, collectibles that are hard to sell, liquidating assets pre-death, so then the kids end up having to pay taxes after you've passed away on the gains for those assets, co-owned property with no roadmap, and a business with no direction. Here is the ultimate takeaway. The mistakes that most families make isn't the lack of assets. It's a lack of structure and a lack of understanding. People write a basic will or they set up a trust, but they never actually fund it. Or at the end of their life, they panic, so they put their kid's name on the deed of the house in order to avoid probate, not realizing that they just gifted the property and it strips away the stepped up basis if they go ahead later on and sell the property. The best inheritance is not necessarily the biggest one. It's the one that keeps your family together and is structured so they can actually keep it, and after the process, still have a relationship. If you have any questions regarding Indiana estate plan, you can always reach out to me. I am Guy Di Martino. Have yourself a great day.